I'm gonna shit my pants. Guru, I see a baddies. Quick, what do I say? You go up to them. Here's how the best way to rizz up baddies, chat. And let me tell you this. You go up to them and you say, good day, young lady. And you twiddle your mustache like this. And then twirl your cane around. And you say, you're looking as fine as a summer's day, honey. Like that. And then you flick your toothpick up in the air. Catch it in your mouth. Don't mind if I do, dear. And then that should work unless they spray you in the face with pepper spray and say, get away from me, you autistic freak. I don't know, though. It's like a hit or miss type of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, like 1800s Riz, you know. You got to take it back sometimes. Can we get a Noche recap episode because of no September pay-per-view? Yeah, I'm going to above Armin in the GOAT list. I don't know. Where did Lucas Tracy put Hamzat? Was he really on there? No, he didn't have Chimaev on there. That's interesting that he would have Arman above Fedor, Dominic Cruz, Oliveira, Poirier, Adesanya, Whitaker, Bilal, Moreno, Frankie Edgar, Davison Figueiredo, Aljamain Sterling, who was a win away from being the GOAT of bantamweight clear, Justin Gaethje. Because Arman beat Oliveira, but Chimaev has wins over Kamaru Usman, who Lucas Tracy has in his 6-10 range. And he has a win over Whitaker by submission, who Lucas Tracy has in his 16-25 range. And he beat Gilbert Burns when Gilbert Burns was a very top contender. Huh. Yeah, with Lucas Tracy's logic, Chimaev should be above Arman. Really. Whitaker and Usman on his resume. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's just trying to push an agenda with Ilya and that, I think. He has a thing. I don't know what it is, but he has a thing with Ilya that, you know. When Lucas Tracy predicts something early, he wants to have been right about it the whole time. So what Lucas Tracy is doing, chat, hear me out. In my opinion with this stuff, he's doing what Dana White does when he waits until after the fight to say, see, you guys said this was a bad card. You got to wait until the cards play out. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's doing with this shit. So we're going to say this GOAT list is shit now, but if Ilya does inevitably go on to become it, he'll say, see, it wasn't bad, was it? So I think that's what he's trying to do. I don't understand the logic otherwise with it. But yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fighters that could be where Arman's at based on the same logic, right? How is Islam greater than Silva when Silva, I've already read it and it's dumb. Hot take, starting MMA as a kid in the West isn't optimal. It reduces any hunger or bitterness you need to be good. Thank you for the £5. Yeah, you need that humiliation early of like entering the world of work and feeling the demoralization that the government has for you as a native person of the nation. Yeah, I know what you mean. You kind of need that demoralization to spite you into it. But I disagree. I think like some level of like wrestling understanding instilled in you as a kid would be really good. Like I really think we should be doing like freestyle wrestling in school systems in the UK and things along these lines, but we don't do any of that because that would make men masculine and not able to be completely taken over and replaced by a more easily controllable population. Thank you for the $5. IMO, I'm not a fan of the more easily controllable population. Thank you for the $5. IMO, I'm not a fan of the far better competition argument to justify newer champs over older champs. It's GOATs, not who beats who. Who beats who, it's about the sport, not fighters. Yeah, but when these guys got one fight and then got their championship belt, there is a cost. I agree with you, but I actually don't agree with anything you just said. But you might have a point if you adjust it to saying that I'm not a fan of them being way better. I think there is a point where they don't have to do as much as the older champs. Simple as that. There is just a point where that is the case. So I completely disagree with you, but you could have a point if you tweaked it a bit. I think that the newer fighters are better than the older fighters, and I think they should have more legacy gained by their wins because they are just typically better wins across the board. But yeah, I don't think they should be doing... Yeah, I disagree with you. No, I don't think they have to do as much as the older champs, but I don't think they have to do the same. You know? I think they just need to do a bit more than... Like, if Pantoja defends against Van... The conversations then can begin. I just think it needs to get a little close. have half the title defenses that your GOAT had, you know? Is that too much to ask? Have half of their title fight wins that they had, you know? That's what I think. And don't have two of them be against Steve Erceg, whose best win is match nil, and the other one be against Asakura, who is having his UFC debut. Don't do that. And also don't even have half the title defenses, and then somehow someone calls you the GOAT, you know what I mean? Because you beat Manel Cap and Asakura, who Horiguchi beat both by finish easily on the regional scene. So, I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? Not seen alive this early, UK time. What's your Mac? Yeah. Who do you think is the best YouTuber creator to watch as an MMA beginner, other than you? MMA, you know what? I think that the second best MMA YouTuber, straight up, I'm going to tell you how it is. The second best MMA YouTuber is ITP MMA Live. It is. It's ITP MMA Live. I reckon so. MMA Che's good, but he just doesn't, he has like, MMA Che has the fucking hustle of a rich kid. Like, he has no hustle with his videos or his streams even. Like, it just seems very sporadic with him. Like, it's still a hobby when it could very well be a career for him. Bedtime has no face cam, and it's just the same shit, same jokes. So, I don't know. Bedtime's cool, though. But ITP MMA Live is, like, he probably makes the better videos, I'd say. Which is why they do good views compared to, you know, Lucas Tracey and Bedtime, who people would assume are the second best. You know, second and third. But I feel like ITP MMA Live he kills it, dude. He does great views, great content. I don't even watch it, but I know it's good content. Sup, Pigger, oink, oink. Thank you. Lucas Tracey tier list kept us down for 300 years. Do you think that Shavkat beats JDM or Islam? No. Randy in the top 30, but not Chuck Liddell, who beat Randy twice. You were wrong in your last stream. You said Randy beat Chuck to win the title. Randy defended against Chuck. I know I didn't say that, though. I didn't say that he defeated Chuck to get the title. I said that, was it Chuck or was it Tito Ortiz? Oh, it was Tito. And then we came to the conclusion it was Tito. So I actually asked if it was Chuck or Tito that he got the belt against rather than defended against. And then I immediately found out it was Tito. I'm sorry that you don't understand human logic and you don't listen to things when hearing them. And you have no reading or listening comprehension. Get Strong Arm Rob Reed for $20. Dumb retard. You don't need money. I'm glad you don't have it. And it's best that you don't have that $20 because it's useless in your dumb retard hands. Thank you for the $2. The Fighting Business channel for entertainment. Okay. They could be decent. If Izzy still lost to Sean but beat Drickus, would he still be the middleweight GOAT? No. And also, to say that Chuck Liddell's over Randy Couture because he beat him, like Randy Couture didn't take the heavyweight world championship as well twice in UFC history, is kind of insane. In fact, 3. Didn't he beat 3 heavyweight champions in UFC history? Maurice Smith, Rico Rodriguez, and Tim Sylvia as well. So I wouldn't say that just immediately puts him under Chuck because he lost to him and Chuck defended the belt a bit at light heavyweight. I wouldn't say that means that whatsoever, especially because Randy beat him as well. So it turns out you don't know the sport at all. Thank you for the 2. Anyway, what was I reading? If Izzy still lost to Sean but beat Drickus, would he be the middleweight GOAT? Yeah. There's an argument he already is. Mate, Bobby Knuckles will expose the fraud Derrida, Bro beat Holland, GM3, and Bo Nickel. I know, but he's very good and pressuring and dangerous, and I feel like he can get a hold of Whitaker and do some shit to him. Imagine Okoye, he's retarded. All the more reason not to. I like the perm look. It's not a perm. It's not. It's just how my hair is. Am I taking your girl, chat? What are you thinking, chat? Hold on a second. Let me shut the curtains. What are you thinking, chat? Am I? What are we saying? Maybe? Maybe? Who knows? I don't know. I keep looking in the mirror, chat, and wanting to shave the whole beard and go mullet mode. I want to go mullet mode, dude. Mallet mustache mode. There's a fucking deep-rooted subconscious desire, I think, for all white guys to go mallet mustache mode at least some point in their life, dude. I have to at least try it, man. You know? Let me get the jaw popping a bit on the sides. You know? And then we'll go for it. You can steal John Jones from his wife, Bruce. Okay. The problem is not the hair, the problem is the beard. Okay, thank you. I have a similar hair guru, but I cut the sides like a gay. Alright, thank you for the $5. I don't get my hair cut, so. That's the problema. Why do you look very Celtic? Because I'm English. The fuck? I'm English, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, Norwegian. I'm pretty white, yo. Shave your head, meh, afro ain't for you. I could shave it again, maybe. You look... if DDP can't stop the takedown, will he be able to survive like Usman and Burns? Yeah. I've seen a lot of people, like, you know, the Weasel made an entire video about, like, DDP's takedown defense. It's not about their takedown defense, chat. They're getting taken down. Straight up, they are getting taken down. So to look at someone's takedown defense as to whether or not they're going to survive versus Chimaev, it's useless. It's genuinely useless. You're going to get taken down. It's all about your jiu-jitsu awareness on the ground and your survivability and your strength and your 2-on-1 wrist control and these types of things and your ability to roll for legs and all of that type of stuff. So, I don't know. I saw the Weasel's video breaking that down. Like, does he have good enough takedown defense to beat Chimaev? And it's like, it's nothing to do with takedown defense. This is the most dumbest take ever. And it's like a whole video about it. And I'm like, what? That's not the point. Dude, Usman's got better takedown defense than any of them. And, you know. He got taken down in the first round and held there for the whole round. Pig sponsored by Monster. I'm not. I just had a Monster today. I know what we are. We are what we are. Thank you for the $5 Canadian. If you had to train any fighter to come from the slums and make it to a belt, who you picking? Train any fighter to come from the slums and make it to the belt? Jordan Vucenic? No, I'm joking. Oh, God, I feel bad that you got cut from the UFC. Probably Vulcganowski. He started as a, like, 18-year-old, right? If he started from, like, a kid, no one would, like, he'd destroy Makashev. Like, if Vulcganowski started MMA... Chat, yes or no? If Vulcganowski started his MMA and martial arts training as soon as Makashev did, he'd genuinely fucking show him so much levels. It's insane. I really think so. Like, Makashev isn't actually built different. Like, he's strong. But if Volk was training for the same amount of time, he would fucking destroy Makashev, I reckon. No, the rugby helped. I disagree, dude. I think, like, hard, specific training for wrestling defense and wrestling offense and striking offense is better than just playing rugby in a fucking field. I think it's a good base rather than doing nothing or doing another regular sport, like football or basketball, maybe. But because of the physicality aspect and the durability aspect. But no, if Volk was training as long as Makashev, he fucking schools him, dude. No, he wouldn't. Well, he nearly beat him after starting at 18 when Makashev's been doing it since he was a child. So he genuinely would. So, yeah. Even if he started a year earlier or 2 years earlier, he probably would have edged Makashev in that first fight. So, yeah, you're dead wrong. Thank you very much for the $5. John versus Tom. Let's be real. It's not my fucking fault for leaving the stove on. No, we're not doing that joke. Criticizing the Elliott win makes no sense when Kai Kara France, Pantoja, and Moreno were all on tough. Thank you for the $5. True. They were all on tough, weren't they? Thank you for the 5. But I understand how, like, someone winning the Ultimate Fighter and then getting a title shot off of it isn't the best look. But, dude, that's been the case. Like, a lot of people shit on DJ's career, but chat, who did Figueiredo's era begin with him beating for the belt? It was Joseph Benavidez still when he went on a massive win streak after the second Demetrius Johnson loss and, like, ruled the division as, like, a contender, basically, until then. Like, he beat Alex Perez by first round TKO, who gave Makashev an incredibly tough fight. I know that it's later in their career and people pick and choose when people's primes start based on when they lose and when they win. But it's a very real thing. DJ's era stood up well, I think, at flyweight. Dance for me, boy, yeah? And you're gonna dance for me, boy. Do you think Wonder Boy retires tonight? Tonight? Oh yeah, it is today, isn't it? Up the orange men. Thank you for the £2. Fuck Trump. Thank you for streaming right now. Pretty bummed. Just lost 500 gambling on the e-basketball. I'm retarded. I've already read this. Thank you for the $5. I'm sorry that you lost your money. Don't gamble. Life is a gamble. Why take the 1 in a million chance of becoming rich from like betting casinos online when you could take the 1 in 50 chance of becoming wealthy by gambling in real life by starting a company or chasing a dream? Everything in life is a gamble. Don't gamble on online betting casinos. You should gamble in real life. Your sponsor? Yeah, sports betting. Like, listen, I have a sponsor for gambling, but I'll tell you guys, dude, gambling's dangerous and you shouldn't gamble. If you want to do sports betting and use Prize Picks and fucking bet some money where you could sort of like cover the takeaway on the weekend for watching the fights, or cover the drinks on the weekend by getting a good parlay off on sports betting, and that's one thing, but don't be risking This is the thing I don't understand about gambling. Don't risk 500 gambling on e-basketball. Like, what are we doing? DDP would bully Anderson. Thank you for the $2. He just takes him out. I don't know. Thoughts on the Jones DMs? Didn't listen to X. Oh, you're just crashing out, calling some guy about being in his closet. And I'm like, dude, this guy's offering you a layup. Jones is like offering him a layup about the closeted comments. And he never went at him for it, but Jones is an embarrassment, that man. He's an absolute embarrassment of a man. He's a fucking little dick bitch of a guy. Like, straight up, he's a small dick fucking loser. Like, the way he interacts with people on social media when it comes to, like, DMing them and shit. Fucking pathetic ass motherfucker, man. Western boxing ends strikers. Thank you for the $10. Don't see the point in that. I don't know how to. The $2 Canadian. Not going to lie, Silva faced better fighters for his era than Israel Adesanya. I completely disagree. Thank you for the $2 Canadian. Prediction on Silva versus Diego? No. Like, chat, hear me out, yeah, with the Anderson Silva thing. Just, oh, never mind. People are going to meme about the answer, but I genuinely believe Anthony Hernandez would be the undisputed champion of 10 title defenses in Anderson Silva's era. I really think that. Anthony Hernandez would genuinely maul the entire fucking era of Anderson Silva's middleweight division. I truly think so. I think he'd fucking maul them and submit Anderson within 3 rounds. I think that's absolutely fair. And I know he got hurt to the body against Kevin Holland early in his career and finished. I get it, but I think this version of Anthony Hernandez would absolutely fucking blitz through that whole era. I really do. Unironically, Anderson Silva's best moment is making it competitive with DC and having DC hurt to the body on 1 day's notice. That's very impressive. Prediction on Silva versus Diego. Goated. Thank you, man. Look here, you fucking goofball. Perfect example of how goated it is. Honestly, who's defending 10 fucking times against good competition? No one, which is why Silva is greater than Islam. It's not good competition, no, dude. Patrick Cote is not good competition. Rich Franklin is not good competition, man. It isn't. It just isn't. Like, let me look at Anderson Silva's resume, yeah? And I'll fucking tell you who beats them in the modern era. Should we do that? Is that really what you want to do? Dude, his competition was fucking gut. It was the best competition at the time. Well, then his time was shit comp. So it doesn't mean as much. That has to be a factor. It's not as much of a factor, so he's still high up on the GOAT list. I'm not completely removing him because he doesn't have a single legitimate win. But I don't think they're good comp. Vitor Belfort, I guess, when he was 19-8 in 2011. Okay, that's a good win. Other than that, though, I don't know, man. A lot of the fights that he had were 5-round nothing fests against, Damian Maia and some of the other fights. Even against Talis Latis, I feel like that was a fight where he just did nothing for 5 rounds and stood there and nothing happened. But, like, genuinely, Rich Franklin, I mean, I'll make a take that's not even hot right now. Brendan Allen submits and finishes Rich Franklin. He just does. Within a round. Within a round, he'd finish him. I really think that. I think he could go out there and TKO him standing. Fairly easily. And Brendan Allen's shit for today's middleweight. He's 11. He's ranked number 11. And he's never going to be a top dog. You know? Roman Kopylov would fuck up Rich Franklin so badly. That is the truth. Like, he really would. Rich Franklin started MMA at like 27. He was a teacher. Exactly. Which is why he would get fucked up. So I just don't say top comp. It was his comp, but that doesn't make it top level comp. It was shit comp. It just was, and 2 of his fights against Rich Franklin were there. Finished him the same time twice with knees. Travis Luter, I mean, that was up. Nate Marquardt, that's a good win to be fair. Marquardt has some decent wins, but I don't think he'd be top dog these days. I don't know, man. I just don't value it that much. None of these wins. Yushin Okami, like, I don't know, man. I know there's some of these names on DJ's resume as well, but there's also some sneaky good ones on his resume too. So yeah. Does Joanne Calderwood beat Anderson Silva? No, she doesn't beat Anderson Silva. And it's Joanne Wood as well, by the way. I mean, chat, what we saying? Joe Pyfer sends Rich Franklin into a fucking death? Like he genuinely kills him in the cage? That's what I'm thinking. I think Abbas Magomedov fucking finishes Patrick Cote in a round. And these are all middleweights that we consider to be shit. This middleweight is one of the rare divisions where there genuinely wasn't any comp in that division for so... Like, there was some comp, but like in Anderson's era, there just wasn't much. Henderson's really good win. I agree that Henderson's a really good win. Forrest Griffin's a light heavyweight. So that's different. Does current Izzy beat Prime Silva? Style-wise, I genuinely don't know. But I would say so. But style-wise, he's going to purely strike with him. And Adesanya's boxing's weak. Always has been. So, I don't know. That's a tricky one. But anyone who mixes it up would beat him these days. Easily. They would train differently today. Skills would be better. Okay, so that's a complete argument as to why today's fighters are way better. Cool. Completely agree with me. That's not a take. It's not a take to... You're just coping about his legacy. It's weak. So you can say, oh, if it was today, yeah, but it's not. That's the fucking point. It's not today, is it? And they were all shit. Just straight up. Unironically, chat, and this might sound like a crazy take, if Anderson Silva retired during his era, yes or no, I'm going to be genuinely real with you here, Marco Tulio fucks up every single person Anderson was matched against. And that's so true. Marco Tulio would be the reigning, defending, dominant, undisputed champion of middleweight in Anderson Silva's era. No doubt about it in my mind. Marco Tulio would fucking style on that whole fucking era. He would. And you know what? Mikhail Zaechuk would give him all problems. He'd give him all problems. And he'd probably chin a lot of them. We don't know how good Tulio was, though. Well, he's not a guy from the past. He's a guy coming up now. That was the point. Anderson beats Tulio. Yeah. You can make that argument. But I'm saying, aside from Anderson, I reckon Tulio would fucking style on the whole fucking division. 500 gambling on e-basketball. Right, what are we doing? DDP would bully Anderson. Thank you for the $2. Prime Silva would have dog-walked Izzy. He lost a round to 43-year-old Silva. I know, yeah. Israel Adesanya is the rare one where just because he would keep it pure striking, thinking that he's good, Anderson will probably pick him apart on the feet. Does Bisping make the top 50? He only had one eye. I don't think that comes into it, but I don't know if he makes the top 50. No, he doesn't. Watch him lose to Mikel by fluke now. Yeah. Any current top 15 middleweights you think Prime Anderson beats? I think he could beat Adesanya. I think he'd give Strickland problems, but I could also see Strickland putting him away. But I think he could give Strickland problems. It's about it in the rankings right now. That's about it. Maybe Delidze. He could chin Delidze early, maybe. Could just because of how shit he is on the feet. I've argued with people over Silva, but hear me out. Brendan Allen is just a much bigger, better version of Chael. Also had a debate on Imavov versus Hendo. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Brendan would submit Silva pretty easily, I reckon. Thank you for the 5. Also had a debate on Imavov versus Hendo. Oh, God. There's no point, is there? Is Tim Kennedy a dirty dog? Someone I've always hated. Glad he's getting clowned now. Also, Bomb Firm sub. Curtis